Have you heard of al dente? What's al dente? Can all noodles be al dente? Can all pastas be al dente? What about pizza? What's the pizza we've been having in Malaysia? I guess it's about time we found out. Yep, we're flying. Again. We are going to Italy, or more specifically, Rome. And we're going to try all the delicious foods in Rome. Pizza, different types of pizza, pastries, snacks, ice cream, pasta, more pasta, loads and loads of pasta. We are keeping this food adventure free and easy, so we might venture out of Rome, probably down south, as we'll be in Italy for a few weeks. I think this series is going to span over quite a few episodes. Oh, it's time to board, it's time to board. We are flying with Qatar Airways today, and we're going to lay over at Doha at Hamad International Airport for quite a while before we fly our second leg to Rome. I wouldn't be focusing on the food on this airline because we've done it before on a similar route to Paris in our previous trip. It wasn't very good. Anyway, if I come across anything interesting, I'll let you guys know. I'm actually really tired right now due to the past few days rushing the edits for the Malacca food vlog. So I think I'm gonna quickly set up my bed and hit the sack. Good night. Doha, huge airport, lots of traffic, interesting structures, beautiful cars, and we'll be in this place for 20 hours. Until our next connecting flight. Yep. But the silver lining is we have access to the business lounge, which means we get to charge our electronic devices and rest on chairs that are comfortable like this. Most importantly, free flow food. Yes, free flow food for breakfast, lunch, dinner until our departure. They have this online a la carte menu where you could just scan the QR code with your phone and then navigate their menu and choose what you want, the beverages as well, and place the order with the waiter. There's also a mini cooked food buffet spread on the sides together with bread and a salad bar, snack bar, and fruit bar, I guess. We have tried those and they are sort of serviceable, but I'm really excited about the a la carte. So let's start off with some breakfast menu items. Eggs Royale, a cousin to Eggs Benedict, which is basically poached eggs, hollandaise sauce. Instead of ham, they use smoked salmon, and underneath is supposedly English muffin, but in this case it looks more like a soft roll to me. And on the side, of course, asparagus. Anyway, mandatory egg yolk roll. Nice! Look at that beautiful egg yolk rolling out of this egg. Sauce. It's not bad. Salmon is salty, smoky. It needs more hollandaise sauce. I could barely taste it. It's mainly the egg yolk flavor, and because it's not an English muffin, obviously it lacks that nice chewy texture that English muffins generally have. It's alright. Salmon has a really strong flavor of that sea too. Not in a good way. Next up, asparagus. Yep. Crunchy. Feel that? Pretty good asparagus. Got its natural flavor too. But looking at how the Eggs Royale fared, I think we'll probably skip the remaining a la carte items for breakfast. I think for lunch they have actually something more interesting on the menu. So we're gonna go ahead and probably rest for a bit and wait for lunchtime. And for lunch, bye.
Okay. Because I saw them have changed the buffet menu for lunch and dinner, so I have took some to try. Let's start with the penne. The penne is very soft, overcooked with very mild tomato flavor. Next. Okay. Still have a little bit crunch. What about the lamb? This actually the service crew told me is a lamb tahini. Tahini is some form of Arab curry. Surprisingly, the meat soft and tender. I can taste a little bit of the spice behind is a cinnamon, cardamom, cumin something. A bit like the curry, the Indian curry, I would say. Hot. Very tough. Very dry. Not the best. You could probably use this to kill someone. Just use this to hit their head, they'll die.
Because the cod is so dry, quite don't even want to try the beef. In fact, the beef looks pretty dry as well. I believe it's a sirloin and it's supposed to come with a pepper sauce, but I think they forgot the sauce. Let's just, try it out. Goodness, this is tough. You can already, oh my god, you can already tell. This is like a jerky, guys. Jerky beef. Taste one. Surprisingly not as tough as I thought. It's definitely tough and dry. Got a little bit of beefiness to it. Some saltiness. Peppery. Yes, it's very dry, but it's not the toughest. Not jerky yet, but getting there.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
An a la carte order. We've got over here some tenderloin steak together with a fondant potato, and it's drizzled with some pommery mustard sauce, and on the side I've got grilled tomato with some grilled asparagus. Oh, this one is tender. This one is quite tender. Okay, that's why it's called tenderloin. Okay, I take it back. It's a little bit tough. It's a little bit rubbery. Okay, let's try this out. A little dry for a tenderloin. You got the char grilled flavor though. That's pretty good. A little bit of beefiness. Beef is dry and tough and rubbery. I'm still chewing it. The pommery mustard sauce though, it's done pretty well. A little bit of tang. Very mild mustard heat. It pairs pretty well with the beef. But the beef really needs to be juicier since it's like, made to order. And let's try the potatoes. It's called a fondant potato, I think, because it's supposed to be like melting. I think in French it means melting potatoes. And you chop off the top and the bottom, and then you cut it into sort of like a cylindrical shape. I've not had this version of potato before. But what I can tell is it's definitely not melting inside on this piece. Very well flavored though. The outside is actually quite tough. Flavor is quite good. Well spiced. I think they added probably some form of herbs in there as well. Desserts. Let's hope this pulls it back. We've got here a pecan pie. It does look the part, along with a coconut passion fruit tart. Very interesting. Let us start with the pecan pie first, the more traditional looking one. decent. It's sweet, not too sweet. You taste the pecan nuts, just it's sort of like not very present, but you do taste it. It's like it's not enough of that oomph, that flavor, that nuttiness. Otherwise, it's pretty okay. Okay, final dessert. This one is very decent. The key point being the melty passion fruit. I think it's like a sort of sauce in the middle. You don't really taste that much of coconut, like very faint. If you don't tell me there's coconut in there, I wouldn't even know. Chocolate is pretty good. The shortbread biscuit underneath, I mean, it's alright, it's not very fragrant, but the key point really likes the passion. I think this is done very decently. Probably the best dish so far today. Yeah. Pretty enjoyable.
I'm so full. Can't eat anymore. Let's just wait for boarding.
Time to fly again, guys. See you in Rome. This is our hotel room.
Yes, and actually we have arrived for quite some time. And we're gonna to try some Italian food so that we can know what it tastes like.
Yeah, how the Italian food tastes like in Rome. The actual food hunt will start tomorrow. And I don't know if you noticed, but the sun is really hot. So you see I have like a different shade now. Over here I have this reddish thing and you can literally tell the markings of my face mask. Anyway, let us quickly talk about the food experience in the business lounge of Qatar Airways Ahmad International Airport. I think the food is generally serviceable. It is something that you eat when you are hungry. It will keep your tummy full. The mini buffet spread is what all mini buffet spreads are like. Some of the food are under seasoned and some of them could be over flavored. I think that's quite common. What really disappointed us in a way
It's the a la carte food.
yeah, correct. It's the a la carte food because we were expecting it to be a lot better, to be honest. I think the presentation is done well. But for example, you look at the eggs royale, they didn't give us enough hollandaise sauce. So it loses the characteristic touch of that tangy flavor. Whereas for the beef tenderloin, as we showed it to you, it was, it's not the tenderloin. I think you could change name to a rubber loin. It was rubber. Yeah, correct. It was hard, chewy and rubbery. We did actually try some of their other a la carte menu items as well, and it's just not very good lah. However, the amenities are really, really good. If you have a long layover at Ahmad International Airport, you do feel very comfortable because it allows you to sit in comfortable chairs, you have shower areas, and you've got unlimited free flow of drinks and food. So if you got access to the lounge by way of a complimentary ticket, then yes, of course, use it. It's a no-brainer. But if you have to purchase the lounge access, then I think you should look at it from a perspective of purchasing it for the amenities, for the comfort, rather than the food. The food is really not very good. Yeah. I believe there is a time difference between us and you guys in Malaysia. We are really tired right now. We are going to go to bed. Yeah, I really don't have enough sleep. So we'll see you next week where the food hunt begins.
Yeah.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed this food vlog. If you do consider giving us a thumbs up. If you're yet to subscribe, do consider subscribing and hit that notification bell button. Till we eat again next week in Rome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.